Today, we're talking about digital versus physical journaling. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Nick here. And full disclosure, this video is going to be my opinion of digital versus physical journaling. So I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but if you do, great. If you don't, great. I just wanted to come on here and because I run a journal company, share some of my thoughts on what I like to use. Let's get into it. So first up is digital journaling. This is an old iPad. I actually don't even think it works anymore. But first, I just wanted to run through a quick list of the pros of digital journaling and some things that are exclusive to digital journaling that physical journaling doesn't quite have going for it. Number one, pretty obvious, accessibility. As the times progress and as technology becomes more and more integrated with our lives, we always have a phone on us, we always have a laptop in our backpack, and we usually have a tablet somewhere at home or even on us at all times. With this comes higher accessibility than what might typically be available for a physical journal. This is really due to the cloud or cloud computing, which has allowed us to basically store memory on multiple devices pretty much anywhere in the world. Meaning I can open up an app like Evernote or OneNote or Notability or a handful of other apps on my phone. I can write down a grocery list and then I can turn off my phone, open up my iPad, and that list will be there on my iPad as well as any other devices that are linked up to that cloud. That's pretty much exclusive to digital journaling. There's really no way that physical journaling can compete with that sort of accessibility. If you're walking somewhere and you have a quick thought, your phone is a perfect place to jot something down. Or if you're in class and you're taking notes on your computer, it's a quick way to make a grocery list or write something down really quickly that you need to get done. So compared to this, it's pretty secure. The only thing that's really standing in between your deepest, darkest secrets and someone who wants to read them is the name of your first dog, street you lived on, or kindergarten teacher. Point number three for digital journaling is organization. Now this is a huge one for someone like me because I always have a hard time remembering where I wrote something down, but I tend to remember that I wrote it down somewhere. So if you guys are familiar with the Control F feature on pretty much any computer, it's basically an instant way to figure out where any keyword is. And as long as all of your note systems are set up correctly on your digital format that you're using, you can pretty much find anything in the blink of an eye. Flipping through old journals and trying to find old lists or old notes or something like that is a lot more difficult on the physical side, but for someone like me who pretty much exclusively took digital notes in college and in high school, it's way easier to find things when you're trying to study or when you're trying to pull up an old grocery list or an old list of lifts that you're gonna do in the gym or whatever it may be. So definitely a point on the digital side there for me. The fourth point for digital journaling that I will offer here is the connectivity that is offered in this format. Meaning if you are wanting to include a link to like a YouTube video or a website, you can super easily do that on a digital format. You can also include pictures or sound bites way easier than you ever could with any kind of a physical option. So definitely another point in the digital journaling option here. Number five is storage space. So when you have a digital format, you pretty much have an unlimited amount of space that you would use up versus a physical journal that has a limited number of pages. So you have literal space where you're writing your notes and then you have storage space. And digital kind of takes the cake in both regards. You have unlimited amounts of data and pages that you can write on or do whatever you need to do. And then when you need to store it, all you have to do is tuck it away in a backpack or tuck it away in a desk or something like that versus stacking closets full of physical journals that only have, 100 to 200 pages in them or whatever it may be. So definitely another point for digital journaling. So to conclude, the digital journaling format has these five things going for it: accessibility, security, organization, connectivity, and storage. Or as is widely known and accepted in the digital journaling community, ASOCs. Next up is the physical journaling side of things. The first thing that physical journaling has going for it is that if it isn't written, it isn't real. That's a quote that I tell myself all the time because it's true. If I don't record something, especially if I don't write it down with my hand, then to me, it may as well not exist. Now, you could probably go out and scour the internet for scholarly articles about the science behind writing something down versus typing something into a computer and how likely you are to remember either or. But the truth is, for me and for my own life, it is certainly apparent that when I write something down, I'm connecting my thoughts and my feelings to the muscles in my hand and getting them onto a page. I'm seeing them in my own handwriting, and there's just a way more memorable experience than opening up my laptop or turning on my phone and typing something out. The second point when it comes to writing in a physical journal is something that is really hard to explain. So I'm not totally gonna try and do it justice, but I'll give it my best shot. And that is that there is a certain visceral feeling that you get when you write in a journal. I mentioned before that writing in a journal is like connecting your brain and your thoughts and your emotions to your hand and seeing it come out on paper. But the truth is, when you open up a physical book, you hear the glue and the binding crack. You can hear the pages flip back and forth, you remove the elastic band, you feel the texture on the pages, you see the ink come out. It's a really visceral, magical experience. It's sort of the same comparison of reading an ebook or like a Kindle versus reading an actual book. Again, there's something kind of mysterious that's hard to explain about that, but there's just no replicating the experience of using a physical journal. The next point is that a physical journal reminds you of something specific. When you are going out to buy a journal, whether you go to like Barnes & Noble or you go to Amazon to try and buy your physical journal, what you're really doing is you have something in mind. You're looking for a place to write your deepest, darkest thoughts in, or maybe to plan your day in, wherever it may be. But you have an intention about why you are buying that physical thing. So that way, when you see it sitting on a desk, it represents that original thing. But when you see a phone sitting on a desk, it represents a multitude of things. It could represent a text or Instagram or TikTok or 20 different things that we all probably use our devices for on a daily basis. I was reminded of this because just the other day I was going through some old things and I found a pile of old journals, and I also found a pile of old technology, and the difference of my thought process between them was pretty telling. When I saw the old journals, I got nostalgic, I flipped through them, I remembered tons of things that I was ambitious about or things that were really difficult through seasons of life. When I saw these, all I really could think about was how ridiculous it was that I used to use them versus the new options that are available today. All I could think about was playing Angry Birds on this versus playing Angry Birds on my new device. It's not very inspiring. In other words, whenever I see a physical journal on my desk, it's a reminder that I have something that I need to get done or something that I need to write in it. But when I see this on my desk, it's usually a reminder that I should probably call my mom back. Another great benefit of physical journaling is that it's kind of a quiet escape from the noise of the everyday world. Now, I'll be honest, I love my iPhone just as much as anyone else does. But the truth is that there are people paying billions of dollars to fight for my attention. There's push notifications, there's texts, there's calls, there's GPS notifications, there's Uber Eats trying to tell me to order lunch. There's always some reason that my iPhone needs my attention. But when I go to use my journal, I just feel a sense of quietness, an escape where it's just me and my thoughts, uninterrupted from anything else. Now for this next point, I might sound like I am talking out of both sides of my mouth, and that's not my intention. Just bear with me for a second. Now, I know that digital journaling offers way more storage space, basically an unlimited amount of pages to journal on and do whatever I need to do. But consider with me for a second that there is a huge benefit to having a limited amount of paper. And the reason why is that there's visual progression. When you're journaling in a physical book, as you progress through the days, months, maybe even years, however long it takes you to do a journal, you can see yourself moving through that book. And to me, that's a really exciting feeling. I love the idea of moving the elastic bookmark that I have in my journal to the next day after I complete the day prior. All that to say, while I'm very impressed with the convenience and the utility of having unlimited storage space, there is something charming and useful about seeing myself visually progress through this journal. The final point that I will give to physical journaling is that once you complete a physical journal, first of all, that's the best feeling in the world. When you finally close that journal and it has all of your thoughts and feelings and accomplishments in it, that becomes a time capsule for a period in your life in a way that a digital journal doesn't really come close to. Now, what I mean by that is if you ever looked back at old journals, you are able to pick up a lot more information than you would think. Because it's not just about what you write, it's about how you wrote it. It's about if you misspelled a word, or if you crossed something out, or if you skipped a few pages, or only wrote half of a thought, or something like that. There's so much more to pick up on and read between the lines when you're going through a physical journal versus going through old documents in a digital format. To me, those are really exciting memories, and they can only live on a physical page. So to summarize, here are all the benefits of using a physical journal to me. If it isn't written, it isn't real. There's a visceral aspect to writing in a physical journal. It's a reminder of the physical thing I'm trying to get done. It serves as a quiet place for me to focus on my goals and intentions for my life. It provides an aspect of visual progression as I move through it. And the last one, it serves as a time capsule for my life. Or in other words, as is widely accepted by the physical journaling community, I've archived. So clearly I care a lot about journaling, and I've been doing it for many years. And one reason that the Hero's Journal exists in the first place was that I was tired of not feeling inspired when I opened up my physical journal every day. And after scouring the market to find something that would satiate my need for an adventure, I didn't really find anything. So I decided to make a journal that leaned into my favorite things about journaling. One of which is visual progression. As you move through the Hero's Journal, there is art that moves along with you. There's even a story throughout that kind of reflects the hero's journey a little bit. There's no dialogue or anything like that, but it's a fun way to plan and spend your time as you're physically journaling. And the nice thing is that sometimes when you open your journal, there might be a whole nother scene for you to see when you're doing that. The whole idea there was that it would keep you engaged as opposed to you getting bored over a long period. Another thing that was really intentional about the Hero's Journal was making it an effective time capsule for your life. Now, any physical journal is going to capture your life at the point in which you write in it. But we didn't find any journals out there that were set up as like a 3-act structure where you literally form a narrative about that time period in your life. Now, there's 90 daily pages in here, but it could last for 6 months or even a couple of years if you want. The whole idea is that once you finish this journal and you put it on your shelf, when you want to look back on it, it feels more like a story because it's set up into an act structure as opposed to just random entries here and there. Another thing that I love about the Hero's Journal is that on the outside, it looks pretty minimalistic. This is pretty much all that you have going on. But the moment you open it up, it explodes with life and explodes with this exciting call to adventure for you. And I like the feeling of kind of hiding in plain sight. But the moment that you engage with this thing, it's kind of like stepping into a whole different world. And even if it's just for a few minutes a day, I get to kind of reimagine my life as a story and myself in a different world just for a moment. And I think that that's really valuable. All in all, whatever your preferred method of journaling is, we just hope that you are keeping some kind of journal. We here at the Hero's Journal are extremely passionate about helping people maintain order in their lives and having a ton of fun while doing it as they reimagine their goal as a quest and picture themselves as the hero of that quest. I want to end this video with one of my favorite quotes from Annie Dillard. It goes like this: "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. What we do with this hour and that one is what we are doing. A schedule defends from chaos and whim. It is a net for catching days." My name's Nick, and I'm one of the co-founders here at the Hero's Journal. Thank you so much for watching that video. In all honesty, We could not find a journal out there that really checked all the boxes for us, and so we created this. This is the Hero's Journal. It helps you write your goal into a quest and helps you become the hero of that story. It has 90 daily pages, and I think it's worth checking out. If you want to learn more about it, go to theheroesjournal.co to learn more. And also, we are at 900 subscribers right now on YouTube. We just want to thank you guys so much for your support. We post videos here every single week, so if you want to help us get to 1,000 subscribers, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.